Ladies and gentlemen, your ears are not mistaking you. That is the music of Fedor Emelianenko, the last emperor. We are patiently awaiting his return to MMA, possibly the UFC coming up soon. This is the Brutally Honest Show. I am Aaron True, 2010 MMA Reporter Nominee of the Year, known for my hijinks, getting beat up by Ronda Rousey, Chris Cyborg for Doom. I am joined to my right by a reoccurring guest star on the hit show Kingdom. He's also a cage-side reporter and editor of the Clinch Report, Jonathan King, ladies and gentlemen. Our third man in our booth, our audio and video engineer. He's a cage-side photographer, just was shooting cage-side at Bellator. This is Adrian, the Mad Hatter, Gallegos. In about 13 minutes, we will have Tony Ferguson, El Cahui. He has a big win streak going on. He has a title contention fight against Khabib coming up. He'll be on in 13 minutes. Before we get into the show, pop culture, comedy, politics, all kinds of fun stuff outside of MMA. Outside of MMA. I'm so excited, guys. I can't even contain myself. We're going to have Adrian's Beer of the Week.
So today, I'm sorry about that. So today's beer is brought to you by the brewery. It's called the Jardinier. What is it called, Aaron? What is that?
This is called the Hardin Hier.
There you go.
Oh, excuse me, Hardinay. Oh my God, we're such idiots. Should I edit that out of the replay or no?
It's
called beer. It's called Hardinay. Drink it. It's called Hardinay.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful bottle.
This beer is a Belgian style pale ale, and again, the brewery is actually it's a local brewery. It's out of Fullerton. It's a great brewery. They're known for a lot of their barrel aged stouts and all kinds of different. They experiment a lot of. They go against traditional styles of beer. So this is a pretty good beer. I've had it a couple times, so I'll pour one out for you.
Hey, well, Adrian's opening and pouring that. I'm going to talk about what we're doing today. We believe in corrective behavior. And damn, that sounded good, that bottle cap opening.
It did.
I'm
sounded
thirsty
really
as
cool.
hell. It's nice out tonight, though. So we believe in corrective behavior here at the Brutally Honest Show. So tonight, Clinch and I, Jonathan King, we are going blow for blow. In a less homoerotic way, you could call it punch for punch. But I have a problem where I always say, let me ask you a question. So every time I say, let me ask you a question, that equals one punch to the stomach at the end of the show from Jonathan. Every time Jonathan, because he has an issue with the voice control, every time he yells in the microphone and hurts my ears, that's one punch to the stomach for him. If we both have one, it cancels out. If one person has more than the other, at the end of the show, you got to take it to the stomach with a big glove. Deal?
Deal. But I've been listening to the old Howard Stern tapes, and where his dad does the proper modulation. So I've been listening to the Ben Stern tapes. I've been training myself. So you guys are you're in for a punch to the stomach today.
All right, awesome. All right, well, let's turn it over to Adrian, back for the beer of the week. Let's get a cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Salud.
You know, it's
Not
very
bad.
refreshing. It's very mild. It's not too hoppy. Just a reminder on the hops. It's it's more of a clean beer. Again, I like to use that word a lot because it's not heavy. It's just it's a good all around beer. I suggest drinking that in the summer. Eating some sandwiches, pretty good.
Yeah, it's really refreshing because I don't like the real beer, I guess you would say.
The hoppiness.
Yeah, this is my style. Nice, refreshing, not too heavy. It doesn't give you the dry cotton mouth, but it's more of a refreshing taste.
Well, I actually think that like a lot of beers that these IPAs and these fancy beers that I taste, you get an initial flavor and then the aftertaste is kind of what kills it. This has like a great flavor and then there's no aftertaste. So you're like, where did it go? I like it. It's really good.
We have so many cool things to talk about tonight outside of MMA. I don't even know where to start. We could start with Clinch talking about being on the set of the show Kingdom last night, the Insider Report. Adrian talking about shotgun shooting. We can talk about being at Bellator. We can talk about the whiskey dick, most embarrassing time of your life. But I think we should start with Jimmy Snuka. Did you guys hear about this? Jimmy Snuka got arrested. Did you hear about this, Adrian?
Yeah, I heard about it.
He got arrested. Wait, let me just tell the audience who doesn't know, if you live under a rock. Jimmy Snuka got arrested 32 years after his girlfriend was found dead. And now that they said that now because of his book, the book he wrote, that his story changed, and now they're trying to convict him for the murder 32 years later. Isn't that crazy?
First of all, I got to do this in honor of Jimmy. Okay, brother. Yeah, it's kind of amazing. I've known about this story for a long time. It's long been professional wrestling lore that Jimmy had committed a murder. It's well documented. This is not a surprise that this happened. The timing of it's odd though that it did come out because I heard he has stomach cancer, and he might not be long for this earth. So it's kind of weird that they would come out with it now.
Well, it's because he just released the book. So he literally just ratted himself out.
Is that what happened?
He's been in the clear for 32 years. He just released a book, and in the book, his story is different about what happened that night. Extremely different.
Oh, is that he changed his story in the book?
You know the documentary The Jinx on HBO, where they talk about the guy who's supposedly killed all these women.
And he gets caught on tape.
And then he gets on tape. He goes, Jesus, what did I do?
When he's taking a piss,
killed them all, of course. He's crazy as he's crazy as hell, right? What did I do?
Dude, that was creepy as fuck.
I
what you just
killed them all, of course. That was the
creepy.
creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life in real life, the real guy. So anyways, Jimmy Snuka ratted himself out. It's unbelievable. Well, guess who we have on the phone right now? From the grave, a guy who always gives sound advice. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring in Macho Man, Randy Savage. Are you there, Macho Man?
I'm trying to keep a clear path for myself here in heaven. Randy's got a... I don't know if I can report on that one, but I do know one thing. I know one thing only. He could have been like OJ. Could have kept that thing going long time. We should have taken a note. Should have taken a note from ornithology.
All right, and then last thing, what do you think of... I know you were really close to Terry. Did you hear that he just wanted to... He was talking about killing himself?
I do know one thing and one thing only. Terry brother Manziel, Terry was not a racist. I know because I'll tell you, he used to fuck lots of black women back in the day.
Whoa.
I know this Virgil sister, oh, baby.
Oh, whoa, Virgil?
The
$1 million man, Virgil?
I can only say so much. God's looking at me. God's giving me the stink eye.
Yeah, good thing he got cut off. That was Randy.
Okay, so I don't even know where we go from there. Basically, though, the moral of the story is don't change your story. Don't talk about it. If he would have kept his mouth shut, his life continues. He had to open his mouth, had to write a book, had to talk about the situation. Now he's probably going to go to jail the rest of his life for a murder. So basically, the moral of the story is don't do it or keep your mouth shut. Okay, we've got 4 minutes till El Kukui. 4 minutes. So do we want to talk about the Ronda Rousey thing for 4 minutes with the Marine, or do you want to save that for more time? You think we have enough time?
I think it's... I mean, yeah, we can talk about it.
Okay.
Topical.
All right, yeah. So anyways, Ronda Rousey, the timing on this is unbelievable. This possibly might be one of the most incredible cover-up campaigns I've ever seen in my life. Ronda was seen in a picture with Travis Brown. It blew up everywhere. People were speculating, making rumors, allegations. Well, Travis Brown, 2 days later, gets cleared of all domestic allegations by the UFC. He's now unsuspended, allowed to fight. Ronda is coincidentally right after on TMZ talking about Floyd Mayweather. She's also then on TMZ again she's on Joe Rogan Experience the next day. It's not mentioned. Then she's on TMZ again being asked out by a Marine. The point is the amount of marketing and the amount of things being thrown at us since the Travis Brown thing is incredible. Is it the most incredible marketing cover-up in the world, or was the Travis Brown thing just blown up out of proportion?
First of all, there is no... I mean, I'm not saying she's dating him or she's not, but there's a picture of her with her teammate, and and Travis Brown's daughter was there. So that doesn't mean they're dating. And if they are, who gives a shit? But if they are dating,
Well,
I
first
kind of
of all-
say, hold on. If they
first
are
of
dating,
all-
it just clicked. If they are dating, the whole Marine thing is kind of a bit coincidental.
Well-
I would say, going back
wish I
to
was
PR.
Marine. Do you see in the video they turned in saw? I'll be honest, I never thought she was that great or had a thing for her, but Marina Shafir looked freaking good.
Marina's
Did you
pretty-
see the TMZ video where Jessamine, Shayna, and Marina were all with Ronda just the other day?
Yeah, they were all at Whole Foods or whatever.
Damn,
Yeah.
Marina! like I said, never had a thing for her, but she looked really good.
Yeah, Marina's a pretty lady.
I think that the biggest criticism that she may get is that Travis Brown is allegedly beat his wife, or and the fact that she criticizes Mayweather all the time about wife beater,
Right.
And now she's hanging out with somebody who allegedly did that. So
Well, he got cleared by the UFC investigators, but then now is his ex-wife or wife, whatever it is, estranged wife, ex-wife, she. Sorry, excuse me, I'm getting cued in from the producer here. His estranged wife now, I think, might be filing a criminal thing or a civil complaint. She was seen on Twitter following Gloria Aldred and someone else. Anyways, long story short, our opinion on it is we don't give a shit who she's dating, what she does in her personal life, and we are pro Ronda on the show, so we're not DNB, do nothing bitches, go Ronda. Ladies and gentlemen, the guest we have tonight is unbelievable. El Kakui Tony Ferguson, the winner of Season 12 of The Ultimate Fighter. He's won 6 fights in a row in the UFC. I believe he's won something like 11 of his last 12. He has a huge fight coming up against Khabib. This guy's a champion All-American wrestler. He's accomplished in so many things. The one and only El Kakui. Tony Ferguson, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Great, thanks. This is Aaron True, joined by Jonathan King and Adrian Gallegos. Tony, how is training going?
Oh, training's going excellent. Didn't complain anymore. Didn't really get too injured in my last fight, so it took the training pretty easy. The best thing about it is I'm actually kind of learning how to rest a little bit, give my body a little bit of a break. But when I'm actually training, I'm giving it hell, just going in and giving my all. But I think we got like a little bit less than, or about 100 days left. So I faced Khabib, so I'm actually a little bit pretty excited.
Now, Tony, you've been flying under the radar pretty much for most of your career since The Ultimate Fighter. Recently, you beat a couple big names, guys like Gleison Tebow, and now you're coming up against Khabib. Some people out there are kind of saying that this fight is they're kind of feeding you to Khabib, like they're grooming him to be the champion. But I for one think that you're going to beat this dude. He's tailor-made for you. Give us a sense of how you look at this fight. Do you feel they're trying to prop him up, or do you think this is a number 1 versus number 1 contender?
No, this is number 1 versus number 1 contender. I remember when I was injured, it sucked. And coming off of injury, you get that little bit of fire and training. You take the training a little bit harder, and the outcome is usually pretty good in your favor. So coming with Khabib coming off of his injury and myself coming off of all my victories as well, number for numbers, man, it's looking to be a great fight. I'm excited for it. I know the fans can be excited for it. I can't wait to go in there and come out with my hand victorious. There's going to be no doubt in my mind. I train hard. I'm not saying that he doesn't train any harder or less, but I'm not giving it to him this fight. I'm going to bring it to him. I'm going to put him in different waters where he's used to. So, hey, Team Uncle Kui.
Hey, El Kakui, this is Aaron True. Now, they pump up this guy Khabib so much. They show him wrestling with bears, doing all this insane stuff. Do you wish that the UFC would possibly give you some more promotion and market you heavier to the Mexican fan base as well as to the U.S. fan base, of course?
In due time, it'll come around. I don't know. I don't really look at it that way. I must be doing something right if I keep getting these good fights. That's how I looked at it at the beginning. Where I was at as far as top 9 went, my publicity and just knowledge of everybody that knew me. Everybody knows me in the fight world. They don't want to fight me either. So, there are a couple of people that are dropping weights or moving up in a weight class, and the list changed. And now I have this opportunity to fight Khabib, and I'm very excited. So whatever publicity they want to bring with it, I'm down for it. I don't think Khabib wants to talk crap in this fight. I know he's a down dude. He trains hard. But if he wants to get in my face, he wants to prove something, then whatever. We'll leave it on the mat.
Now, there was also a little bit of talk that Khabib's team was perhaps lobbying for this to only be a 3-round fight. But you guys were like, hell yeah, dude, let's do 5. Let's do 5. You mentioned the option of perhaps bringing him into deep waters where he's never been. Do you think that once you can get him into the championship rounds, do you think that's where he'll drown?
Oh, just watch film. I already know that's where you'll be able to take him out. His conditioning is one of the things that I know is going to be tested in this fight. I'm always moving, and my competition is always less conditioned than myself. He's a big guy, so hopefully he comes and makes weight. Hopefully he does. Either way, I'll be ready for him. It's not going to matter. He's another opponent. He's my next step in going towards that next victory.
Tony, let me ask you about I didn't say let me ask you a question.
That counts. That's a
Oh,
point.
man, does
That's
that
a
count,
point.
Adrian? Does that
That's a
count?
count. That's a
Damn.
point.
Tony, we have a thing where if I say let me ask you a question at the end of the show, he gets to punch me every time I say it on camera. Damn it. You son of a bitch. All right. Well, so anyways,
What are you expecting from this guy? You know, he's coming off an injury from his knee. Do you think that's going to affect any? I mean, he's known for fucking wrestling bears, for Christ's sakes. I haven't seen him wrestle an El Cucuy yet, but I've seen him wrestle a bunch of bears. Do you think that your championship wrestling pedigree is going to kind of change his normal style for a fight? Do you think you bring something different that's going to make him have to, change his normal? What's the word I'm looking for here?
his normal game plan.
Yeah, his normal game plan. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to wrestle when you have a punch coming at you directly in your face. It's hard to dodge punches when it's right in the face too, or try to shoot. Yeah. For me, my fortunate thing is my wrestling is one of my pedigrees. For along the lines, I picked up some pretty good championship style boxing along the way. I'm still working on it. I'm no expert, but I'm okay with it. I slip and move, which is one of my great things. So I know he's going to use that to go towards one of his main aggressors. He's going to use that to make me slip, and so he can go for that double leg takedown. Keep on me on the ground, and then just use that to hold me down. The game plan's pretty simple. What he has, I know that he has black belt style level stuff, but it's pretty simple. I mean, we all watch film.
Tony, you mentioned how you have incredible wrestling pedigree, as does Khabib. The one thing that might separate you if those two things negate each other could be the striking. Tell us about how you've been working with Tyler Wombles. He's actually a buddy of mine. I used to train with him at King's MMA. I think he's a black belt under Rafael Cordero. Incredible. Gosh dang it. My co-host gives me the look that he's not. I know he is, though. Tyler's one of my buddies. Anyway, so he's a black belt under Cordero, teaches at Babalu's gym. Incredible striking coach and pad holder. How has your game progressed or changed since you started working with him?
Oh, good. Yeah, I have actually probably maybe 4 or 5 different striking coaches along with Tyler. So my striking game is always just getting a lot better. Over here in the Orange County area, I'm very fortunate. So everybody actually comes from different camps. And that's one of the cool things that I've been able to get from it. My head coach, Coach Billy Shive, that's actually one of the coaches I met on The Ultimate Fighter from Dos Santos team. I've linked up with him, and he's my head coach, and then all my other coaches are underneath him. So you can tell my game's getting better. I mean, my game has progressed ever since my first fight. I've been getting better every single card. When I broke my arm against Michael Johnson, that was the one thing I told myself. I spent maybe 2 years, injury, cast, sutures, everything. The whole 9 yards with metal plate in my arm and everything. Getting that thing in, breaking it, taking it out, doing this again. It sucked, man. So I was like, I got one thing on my mind. It was Muay Thai, or stand-up. I could always throw a punch, but I always had kicks, too. I always needed to work on it. And so since then, I just had this one chip on my shoulder just to make sure that my stand-up was better than the other guys. This fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov, he's going to have a lot of things busy with him. And that's one of the things I'm most proud of. Because in his clinch game and everything else, I don't think he's used to my unorthodox approach to this. I'm a Granby-style wrestler, and if any of you guys know about Granby-style wrestling, it's a little bit more funkier than any kind of folk-style, or it is freestyle wrestling. It's point-based, but it's got a whole system to it, and that's one of my best systems. I'm learning that, so I'm still that. Everything is just always getting better, and I have to make sure that. And I'm kicking myself in the gym, kicking ass in the gym, making sure I'm doing it. That means my rounds on the bag, the never-ending hours I'm putting in when everybody's sleeping, and so on and so forth. The shit that nobody ever wants to do. That's the stuff that I'm putting through. That's how I know I'm going to beat this guy. I don't know. You ever fought before? Any of you guys ever fought before?
I had an amateur fight, and I came in 20. I made weight for the fight, but I fought at 185, and I'm smaller than you. And I won a decision, and I also wrestled for 1 year in high school, but I only won 2 or 3 matches. But so no, I don't know if that counts.
We all spend time in the gym. We all train, not to the level that a professional fighter would or whatever, but we definitely understand what the grind is and what you guys put in the gym on as far as commitment is concerned. It's
I think that's one of the reasons why we look up to fighters so much. If you ever go to the gym and watch these guys train, the fight sometimes isn't even the hard part. If you can get through the training camp, if you can get through the fighting in the gym, That's what gives you the confidence to know nothing that happens in the cage is going to be worse than what happens in practice.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing. You kids see Major League Baseball players practicing and they're playing baseball and they're like, wow, I want to do that. That looks like fun. Even their practice looks like fun, you know? You go into a gym thinking you want to be a fighter, half the people that leave are like, fuck that. You know what I mean? So the commitment and the level of intensity that you guys put into your training is just, it's beyond commendable. It's admirable.
Tony, an issue that's come up lately is the IV ban. You're a huge lightweight. I don't want to ask you about your personal business if you do or do not use IVs, if you don't want to talk about it, but how do you think this will affect the weight classes or people in MMA? Do you think it will be an issue or change anyone from having to go up, possibly even yourself?
Personally, I don't think it's going to affect anybody. It's not going to affect me the way I do my stuff, so hopefully it doesn't. So that's about it.
Thank you so much for your time and for being part of the show tonight. Before you go, is there anyone you want to thank that helps you out to keep your career going? Any training partners, any sponsors, anybody in your life?
Just everybody, my wife, obviously, and then my whole team, Team Alpha Coding. If you guys follow us on Instagram, you can check everybody out. You have all the coaches that are past, present, future. Everybody on there, training partners. My sponsor, DFXSports.com. And if you want to follow me on my way to victory on my next one, you follow me at Tony Ferguson XT on Instagram and on Twitter.
Thanks a lot, Tony. We appreciate your time.
But that's the
Lord.
next number one contender in the UFC. I'm telling you right now, he's going to beat Khabib. I'll tell you one of the things that really blew me away about him. I was out at a event Joe Stevenson was hosting for kids where they were doing grappling and training and stuff like that. And they had Vinny Magalesh was out there teaching stuff. And El Kukui stayed for hours after not with the kids that had paid to go see him, but with the guys that trained with Joe Stevenson that were helping out, showing them boxing techniques, showing them the 4 points with the thumbs, touching the cheeks, touching the forehead, showing all these kids, these future fighters, like taking the time out to do that. And he wasn't paid to do that. I thought that was really cool. He's a really, really down-to-earth, good dude. And
yeah, he has a great reputation in the community, and he has several coaches, I guess, but I know he works with my friend Tyler, and Tyler always has great stuff to say about him. So I agree with you. I think he can beat Khabib. Khabib is 22-0, but they have a couple mutual opponents. The one, though, thing that does stand out, Khabib's last victory is a victory over RDA. His last win is a win over the current champion.
How long ago was that, though?
2014.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it'll be interesting. I think RDA has changed some of his training methods. I know he's training with another conditioning coach now, so that's what made him. I guess that was the edge over Pettis, right? That's what he helped him, go through all those rounds and continue to be fight strong. So.
RDA's a beast. I just can't. When I look at that division, it's so deep. I was talking to Christos Giagos about this last night on set, and I said, how many lightweights are there? He's like, oh, there's like 125. I go, there's 470 fighters in the UFC, and 125 of them are in one fucking division? That's crazy.
Really? Is that many?
The lightweight division has to be the most the most in-depth division that there is.
Speaking of what you heard last night, my boy right here, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at the small camera. Let him see your face. If you're watching on YouTube, this is a video stream. It's fun hanging out with us, chilling, watching the show. Or if you're listening on SoundCloud or iTunes, you can subscribe there as well. My boy right here, Jonathan King, he's a reoccurring. That's right. He hasn't been on once. He's been on more than one time, people. He is a reoccurring guest star. Well, featured extra guest star. I think he's the star of the show, personally. I think he steals every scene he's in. Every time he's in that one scene each show, he steals that fucking scene. He steals it. My boy King, he was on set last night with all the stars for 12 hours. Talk to me. Tell us, what was it like?
Oh, it was crazy, man. We got there. I got to Woodland Hills at about like 6 o'clock. And, oh, Jesus. It was Nick Jonas, Jonathan Tucker.
Hold on. So you did see Nick Jonas in person?
Oh, yeah. He was
Could
hanging
you
out
like
the whole
feel
time.
his energy? And
Dude, I was hanging out with him, shook his hand. Real nice guy.
Touched him?
Oh, dude.
What did it feel like?
Oh, it was glorious.
Do you think I could take him or no in the sparring?
Well, actually, his family was there too. His brother.
No
Joe
way,
was
Kevin
there,
and Joe?
No, not one
the guy
brother,
with the
Joe.
good hair?
Yeah, the guy brother
Oh,
Joe, and
he's banging
his
this
father was
model
on set
Gigi
too.
or something, I think.
Yeah, they seem like real down to earth, mellow
Yeah,
kids.
they seem like pretty
you know?
cool people.
Yeah,
I mean, when we talked to Joe, he seemed like he could fight, right? That's what he was saying when we spoke to him last time.
Dude,
he says he can, but what's up?
His scenes weren't. He didn't. I can't really get into like what happens, but the scenes we shot last night, he wasn't an active participant in fighting. 2 other actors were, and both of them are fucking legit. The movements that these guys do, they're legitimate, man.
Well, we'll see what happens when I lay a potato on their ass and actually touch them for reals.
We'll
see how tough they are.
I would
then
put
when I lay a potato
$100
on their ass.
I would put $100 against you.
Against him.
I carry a mouthpiece next to me at all times. I'll put a mouthpiece on right now. You think I'm afraid of these fools?
See, that's
You think I'm afraid of a Jonas? Okay. Actually, I got my ass kicked by a good Charlotte brother, Benji Madden. So I will take out Jonas'
yeah,
brother.
but didn't
on.
he have a tag team partner? Well, that wasn't like one.
Jason Ellis, but then we never released it. I went back and fought him again a few weeks later, and he won by TKO. It's bullshit. I don't want to talk about it. I have the video. Okay, you want me to talk about it since you brought it up? The time I fought Benji Madden for reals. Okay, so I go to fight Benji Madden from Good Charlotte, right?
Okay.
This motherfucker. I show up with. I think Lazy the Savage was with me. I don't know. My buddy Dave and Lazy the Savage were with me. Us 3 schmucks, right? We show up at the gym. This fucker, Benji Madden, shows up with a corner man, professional, like, who works with Frey Roach and is cornered the actual champions, right? He has this guy wrap his hands.
You're fucked from the beginning.
I knew I was fucked when the guy had one of those clear squirt bottles with the spent straw, and he was squirting the water in the corner. He had a spritzer. He had a fucking spritzer. That shit was spiked. He had a Cutman bucket and a spritzer, and a guy wrap his hands, and he has like a 6-person entourage, right? And that's when I knew I was fucked as he walked in. I was like, this is bullshit. I'm fucked. So anyways, we touch gloves, or we start the fight. I got some clean hands. I land a boom. I think I landed a 1-2, slipped a hook because he threw a wild hook, and landed a clean left hook, and I was like, holy shit, I got him. He doesn't even get phased, rushes me, starts dropping bombs, landing potatoes left and right. I take a knee to get a 10-second count. I take a knee. I get my 10 seconds.
This is against Benji?
Yes.
Wow.
It's all on video. Reggie Warren Jr. seen it too. Yes, I took my ears just went out, or whoops. Okay, so yeah, I take a knee to get 10-second count. I'm smart. You get to go down 3 times in a round. So I go down, take a knee. He counts to 10. I get up. We start brawling again. He starts potatoing me again. And I take a knee again. When I take a knee this time, he starts punching me in the fucking back of the head when I'm on the ground, on a knee. So I start going, hey, what the hell? And my buddy Dave's in the corner, I think Lazy too. They're like, dude, relax, chill. And this corner starts getting crazy. Round ends. I make it to the second round. I took 2 knees, I'll be honest. I did land 2 punches, but I took 2 knees. So
2 for 2.
Yeah. So, well, I didn't drop him, but I took 2 knees. So anyways, second round starts. I'm in the corner like, this is bullshit. He's got professional freaking corner man, cut man, a spritzer. We hit the bell to start again. He starts throwing bombs. I get pissed, and I actually clinch up. I landed boom, 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 3 shots to the ribs, spun, pushed him in the corner, landed a right hand from fucking hell, hit him in the face. He went through the ropes. I rocked him. He'll admit it. His trainer will admit it. I rocked his ass clean and fair. He comes back, though, eventually. He fixes his headgear, starts throwing bombs on me. I take a knee because to get a 10 count or whatever. That's my motto when I start getting bombed. I just take a knee because it's boxing. There's rules. It's a sport. I take a knee. He starts hitting me in the back of the head, and I start going crazy, screaming, swearing. They stop the fight or whatever, and his corner's like, no, we're going to stop it because he got rocked a little bit, and then I also got rocked a few times. So technically, I think he won because I quit, actually, because I was like, this is bullshit, fuck this, I quit. But he was one of the coolest, nicest guys. He was dating a Playboy bunny at the time, Holly Madison. He took me in the booth with her at the club, let me chill in his booth after his fight.
Nice.
He beat the crap out of Ricky Rackman. Wins the fight. He looked incredible. He told me afterwards, he goes, you hit me harder than he did, and I actually helped him. And we were cool. Like, it was really a cool thing.
Nice. Yeah. Well, you always get a little bit more respect for someone after you punch them in the face. You know?
Yeah. And it was cool because he told me, you had done me a favor, help me. And I was like, you did me a favor, we were on my show, and we developed a friendship, and it was really cool. And I really am supportive of that guy, and he's no effing joke.
Oh,
that guy's a fucking
UFC
badass.
too, isn't he?
He's got hands like fucking, like Adrian, my boy here, always talks about, you see these hands, these are knockout hands. What did you say about him?
Bricks.
Yeah, he goes, you look at the size of his hands like a
fucking
bricks.
cinder
Dude,
blocks.
Madden's got hands like fucking bricks. That guy, now you can tell, how a guy is a professional musician, aka a professional on something, right?
Oh yeah.
They put that amount of dedication to become a professional into the boxing, into whatever, something else. This guy's jumping rope, professional trainers, professional cut man. Spritzers. He took this so fucking serious. Ricky Rackman walks in there and just gets knocked the fuck out the first round. He didn't know what hit him, so it was pretty cool.
To that guy?
Ricky Rackman?
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows?
Does he still do that show? Does he still do the?
Who knows?
Headbangers Ball.
Yeah, I think Headbanger Ball is done. Okay, so let's move on to. Want to talk about Bellator real quick?
Yeah.
Or actually, did you ever talk about being on the Insider? Did I just interrupt you this whole story last 20 minutes because we were talking about the Jonas Brothers? Real quick,
yeah.
What was it like on set last night?
Oh, it was really cool. First of all, it was a long night, but there was a lot of cool people there. So a lot of MMA insiders.
Can you say some of the guys? Can I say the people you saw?
Well, yeah, a couple of the guys are reoccurring characters on the show. Guys like Kenny Florian were there.
So you're but rubbing elbows last night with Kenny Florian.
Actually, that was for me. Fucking Brad Pitt could have been there, and I would have walked right past him to go meet Kenny Florian. Kenny Florian, as you know, and Adrian know, you guys make fun of me for this, but he's one of my all-time. I actually will admit he is my all-time favorite fighter.
I wouldn't necessarily make. That's surprising, but I wouldn't make fun of you. I never appreciated him, unfortunately, as much while he was active. I just recently they replayed his fight against like Aldo or I don't know BJ Penn or something. Dude, Kenny Florian was fucking legit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's legit as fuck. Yeah,
I forgot how good he was.
Yeah, he
was so fucking well rounded, and he was such a good fighter. God damn,
he was so good in every different area. And what I love about him is, I said this to him last night. I was like, you beat everybody cerebrally, like. You outthought and beat everybody. Whatever their strength was, you would take that out of the game and just beat him in another area where he couldn't fucking rely on that strength anymore. And I saw him do that on several different occasions, whether it was on the ground or standing. And you look at the guy and you're like, he doesn't look like a badass. No. But he absolutely, in so many different areas, that guy is just like black belt level in so many different areas.
You know what's funny? My nephew actually, I used to have the deal with the Jacks, the
toys. Yeah.
So I have a Kenny Florian figure. My nephew loves the Kenny Florian figure. He will not put it down. And I tweeted a picture one time, and Kenny Florian retweeted it. It was pretty funny.
I also loved the one of my favorite ever post-fight fucking moments. I finish fights when you just grab the microphone.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
That was like one of my it's up there with I'm the best
call out
ever.
To get the title fight afterwards?
Yeah, he was like, I finish fights. That was awesome.
You know what? I finish fights.
That was great.
All right, so who else did you see on there? Did you see Joseph Benavidez?
Yeah, JB was there.
How tall are you? Like 6'3", 6'4"?
I'm 6'3".
How'd you spot him?
Yeah, I was looking down at my shoes. No, he's a real nice guy. He's got a fight coming up too.
Okay.
He's fighting another tough dude, Ali Bagatinov, I believe it is.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about his next fight, and Joe B's legit, dude. That guy's like been number 2 in his division for the 8
the last
years.
5 years. Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
the guy's not too many people out there will ever be better than that guy. So. You know, when you get to hang out with a couple legit badasses like that, Ike Valley Flag was there.
You got a restraining order probably in the mail tomorrow. They're going to be like, this guy on the set was asking us questions all the time, talking like, hey, yeah, I'm an MMA insider. You guys, I know you haven't heard of me or anything, but...
No, they didn't mind me because I was just falling asleep the whole time. It got so late, dude. We shot until 6 in the morning. It was so late. And
you're on set taking dabs, taking bong rips, blazing the whole time?
No, I never do
Partying,
that.
just chilling, blazing?
Never.
I know,
always.
I was totally playing
always
with you.
professional. Always professional.
That is so freaking cool. I hope to God that I can get on that show. I hate to do it to try to barge in on your shine, but I got to get on that show.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
It's a great show, dude. It really is. It's fun to be a part of it, first of all, because it's a new experience, and I'm really thankful for my friend Joe Daddy Stevenson for hooking me up. But I actually watched the show.
Oh, you definitely plugged it. And not only that, I've heard since you mentioned it, it's like now I can't stop hearing about it.
Yeah.
It's like now every freaking where I look and I hear about this damn show.
It's number 1 on iTunes, I think, for downloads.
Yes, on Joe Rogan Experience, they were talking about it. I think Jeff Ross was on? And
Jeff
he said
Ross
it was
is on
number 1.
Yep.
He said we're number 1 on iTunes. I forget who it was, if it was him or who it was, because it's such. I literally hear about it everywhere now. But this is a guy show. Also, we love women. This is a guy and women show. But the point is, it's not just an MMA show. We have alternative topics. We support the Second Amendment. We support responsible gun ownership. Once again, responsible, legal gun ownership and gun use. Adrian, he's becoming a hell of a clay shooter here, a hell of a sportsman. tell us about what you were doing this weekend and what kind of gun you have. You have a fucking amazing gun. And then tell them, how did you get the money
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
to buy that gun?
Yeah, that's a good point. So I'll start off with the gun. Well, we went sport clay shooting. So if you guys don't know, I don't know if you guys, I think we've talked about it in the past, but sport clay shooting is, it's kind of like golf, but with guns.
It
So
sounds so much fun. I need to go with you now.
Is
I
it
didn't
like
realize
Frisbee golf?
It's a course, apparently. Like a course, different
Yeah.
holes where you go to different looks.
So let me explain how it works. So there's, we go to Mike Rawhogs out in Corona, California. Great spot. It's a big, like I want to say it's about a quarter-mile circle. It's pretty big, and around the edge of the circle, there's different stations. Okay, and each station has clays that fly a different pattern to replicate different animals.
Okay.
But the crazy part is some of these stations, they're like optical illusions because they raise the horizon, so it looks like it's going faster than it actually is. Sometimes it's curving away from you, so instead of tracing it this way, it curves away. It's like curveballs, right?
So they're not always on the same plane.
Not always in the same plane. Sometimes they're going over your head, and sometimes they're coming at you.
Are they ever like going directly away from you?
Directly away from you. Oh, like there's a one station that's awesome because there's both. It's almost like I feel like that's the Star Wars station, I call it, because it's literally like two clays shooting from that angle.
That's awesome.
By the way, I that's one of my favorite stations, and I probably will hit like 99% of those clays because I've gotten so good at that one station. So.
When are you guys taking me shooting? God.
So
damn.
I'm
I'm nervous to go with you. I don't know. Like, what if you go full potato?
Dude, I would never. I'm a responsible adult. I would never do something
responsible
stupid.
So,
like that.
so first of
Okay.
all, when we take you, I will have to show you gun safety.
Absolutely.
And
I would actually want. I would even take a course if I had to.
Well,
like-
I mean, the course is pretty much just listening for like 5-10 minutes about. It's a lot of common sense and just.
Yeah, I mean, just when you hold the gun, just in general, as you can see, I'm holding it. You never point it at somebody.
Always
And
assume it's loaded.
always assume it's loaded
And
yeah.
live,
Yeah,
chambered.
Yeah, all that good stuff. So, I
Hold it up to the camera.
Oh yeah, let me show you what
And
I have.
What kind of gun? This is look at this thing. This is like not an antique because it's new. This is something you can pass down to your. Jesus, look at this guy trying to get me here.
Yeah, it's covered. It's so this is a Beretta 8300. It's an entry level gun from the Beretta, and it's what they recommended at the range I get, and it's a gas recoil. And so what that means is some of the pressure that from the bullet actually goes back into the chamber to reload the next bullet. It's a semi-auto, so it automatically loads chambers.
oh, so that's why you were
yes,
racking it. In
That's
the
why
video.
it's so
Yeah.
badass. Is that
Yeah.
like a normal shotgun is boom,
Yeah,
boom.
right.
This gun is you load it.
Just keep shooting.
Can you shoot that fast?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
do you have to
As
wait a
fast as
second
you can.
No.
between each round?
Semi-automatic means as fast as you can pull the trigger.
As
No,
fast as
I understand that, but with a shotgun round, I was
Same
wondering,
thing.
like, will you blow into the other
it's
round?
A freaking
no,
semi-automatic
it's too
shotgun.
fast.
Okay.
It's so much faster. Yeah, the
So
bullet's too
it's-
fast.
This is. It's usually the lower entry type of semi-automatic is about double the price of a cheap shotgun, right?
Yeah,
Not cheap, but you know what I mean.
Typical shotguns are about.
It's more expensive though.
Yeah,
correctly.
typical shotguns are about $200 to $300, maybe up to $400. That's like the entry level, I guess,
Okay.
or average, I would say. Once you get into the sport clay, you really don't want a gun that will have a lot of recoil on your shoulder because or a lot of pressure. Otherwise, you shoot about 200 rounds a day, so
Damn.
So you're gonna get.
you're gonna get bruised. Yeah.
Is that why those girls and that guy, when they came over to your house that one night, had the bruises on their shoulder?
Well, they were using what's called a tactical shotgun, which is a lot shorter. Okay, because you want to be able to maneuver indoors, right? And
I think he had an 870 Mossenberg. It looked like a black tactical.
Mossberg, yep.
Or excuse me, Remington 870. My
Yeah,
bad.
870,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
the same one the LAPD SWAT uses, the old black gun.
Right. And so, this is. I really love this gun. My wife uses it as well.
Oh,
and,
nice.
And she has, she's small. She's like 120, whatever.
She's tiny lady.
She's tiny, and she doesn't. After the day of shooting,
She's a
not so-
heifer. She's a
Yeah,
heifer.
yeah.
No, just kidding.
Can I see it?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
Whoa,
absolutely.
whoa.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
just don't point to it.
Can I point it at Aaron?
No.
No.
No. I just wanted to like kind of. Holy fuck! This thing's heavy.
Oh, that's a beaut. Talk about the trim on it.
So basically, it's a walnut wood, But I will say, John, whenever you use, actually, for a gun, that's pretty light because it's a long barrel, right? But once you get, other types of guns, they'll be heavier. You're just not used to holding one. But yeah, it's actually pretty light. heavy.
What's this
For-
at the end here?
So that's an optics sight, and that's what I use to trace the. You can aim it.
You filmed a video for me that did
Yes.
very well,
Yes.
and I had a TV appearance. I got paid for a TV appearance.
That's it. Yeah.
on NBC.
Yeah.
And because Adrian was what helped me get on that TV show, and I was like, dude, I want you to come with me. He was there like on set when we filmed the show. It was
That's
pretty
cool
badass.
shit.
The
Yeah.
makeup person, a whole crew, and
Good food.
No, we didn't get any food, but I think they had drinks, but we didn't drink.
They had like snacks.
Yeah, but so anyway, so afterwards, I was like, Adrian, I want you to have half of this because you've been buying me my right hand man with Split It, and he used his half of the money from the TV show to get the gun. So it's pretty
cool.
badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was telling you the optic is actually kind of cool. It glows when you're out in the sun, so it actually helps you aim.
Oh,
helps a little.
nice.
You don't really need a sight when you're shooting clays. I just like it for reference, and it's kind of a training tool that I use when I go out.
It's a badass gun.
So yeah, it's fun.
Thank you for sharing that. So we've had the beer of the week. We've had sports clay shooting. We still have medical marijuana coming up. We still have, I don't know if these guys know about it yet, but we have the Whiskey Dick worst moment or experience ever not being able to perform with a woman segment. Basically, I want you guys to talk about one time back in your past where you couldn't perform. Actually, we'll talk about it now. Might as well bring it up right now. We'll start with Clinch.
I got to think about that. So you're going to have to start with somebody else. I've been a pretty,
Well, I'll set up the
solid
segment.
performer. When I don't get a lot of shows. I don't get a lot of gigs. But the ones I do, I fucking close them. So I've had moment. I talked about that time when I banged that girl in college, where I literally was inside of her for about 1/8 of a second, and I was done. So I swear to, I was so fucking
In college.
Oh, so drunk and retarded. That's the girl I told you. I was like, I gotta go help my friend
Wait,
do
hold on.
homework.
The girl that
Yeah.
you kicked out of your house at 4 in the
Oh,
morning,
dude, that
when you
last-
told her you weren't going to kick her out, not only did you say you're not going to kick her out and kick her out, you only banged her for
Oh,
a
it was like,
second.
It was like when people were like,
Do you think she got off or no?
like the next day, my
Do you
buddy.
think she had
Oh,
an orgasm?
absolutely not. My buddy told me the next day about the 2-pump chump, and I was like, wait, there was a guy that got 2. So yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
You remember a supplement called, I think, like Hydroxycut?
Yeah. That's,
yeah.
That's like speed, isn't it?
Yeah.
They
I got
banned it. It's banned.
Yeah,
no
it's
longer
banned
around.
now.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. I took like 3 Hydroxycut, was about to work out, and I get a text from this girl. And she's like, yeah, let's hang out, blah, blah. I'm home from college for winter break. She comes over. We're boozing it up, taking shots. I'd taken like 3 Hydroxycuts. I
Why would you take 3 hydroxy?
I told
to
you
work
because I
out.
was
He
going to
was
go to
going
the
to work
gym
out.
and work out.
But it was like a change of plans.
I
dude.
took 3
understand that.
Hydroxycut. As I'm walking out my door, I get a text saying, hey, do you want to hang out? I already taken the Hydroxy, brother. I was already going to lift.
But who takes 3 hydroxycuts? That's my question. It's not why. I mean, it's,
Well, I mean,
Isn't that the
there was
dose?
I had a time
no.
once.
What was the dose?
I think it's just one.
I had a
Well,
time.
that's probably why I had a heart attack and whiskey dick, okay? So long story short, I started having heart murmurs, and it wouldn't work. My dick wouldn't work, and I was slapping it saying, please, baby Jesus, please, baby Jesus.
Was she hearing you? Well,
Was she hearing me? She was the one slapping it, saying, get
Please,
this
baby
damn
Jesus.
She's like, come on. She
turn
was the
this
one praying
noodle
with
into
me.
a Snickers bar.
She was praying with me.
That's fucking great. There was a time when I was on, I had Xanax prescribed for me at one point, and I took a couple Xanax, and I realized I had to be at work. Like someone called me, and they were like, "Dude, where the fuck are you? You're an hour late."
And this is when you were giving semen samples, jacking off in a
No,
cup, and you're like,
no.
I can't go.
But
I can't do it.
I took more Xanax than I was supposed to, and I go to work and I'm fucking like drooling on myself, falling asleep. People thought I was like retarded, so I totally understand. You took a couple extra stackers, thinking you were gonna go get your swell on. I'm gonna go fucking pump up, man.
That's a lot, man.
I had another one that was.
Yes.
I had another one that was pretty embarrassing, but like in a good way. I don't know if it was in a good way. I met this chick in Florida, and I was like banged her that night, like. Walked from the restaurant over to like a carousel that was set up like on a church property for like a fair.
And she
it was
wasn't
like
a hooker?
shut down. No. She was like good looking too. And I banged her like right there, but it was fucking, we were both wasted. Anyway, so I get up, we're on the fucking merry-go-round. Right? So I get up and go to walk away, and there's like this 300-pound black guy smoking a cigarette, clapping his hands. I was he's standing there watching the whole time. I was like creeped out. I was
How
like,
long were you on there for?
probably like 2 minutes. But I mean, 2 minutes. He
He makes
must
it
have had at
count.
least 1 cigarette or 2 cigarettes. The guy was fucking sitting there smoking cigarettes. But it was odd because he gave me a round of applause afterwards. She fucking freaked when she saw that. That was
that's
the last time
beautiful.
I saw her again.
That is beautiful. Let me ask you a question. Would you bang Paige Van Zant, or do you think she's kind of too horse-faced-ish and too young and immature?
I think Paige Van Zant's actually really cute.
I think she's freaking gorgeous. She has a natural beauty.
She's not.
You know what I mean?
She's
she doesn't
not a
need heavy-
supermodel beauty. No, girl next door hot.
But
you
she
know?
is just a natural beauty.
Yeah, she's got that like in many ways. Kind of, I know you guys will probably disagree with me, but I see the same cuteness in Tisha Torres, kind of.
I kind of used to have a crush on Tisha, but then she never ever would respond to me on social media, so I'm over it.
Yeah,
Over it.
but I
Plus,
think,
I don't even know if she likes guys, but maybe she.
no,
does.
she has a boyfriend. She has.
Oh,
a
really?
boyfriend. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like how Aaron automatically assumes that she's not into guys if she's not into him. You know, like he's like, oh, I don't know if she's into guys because
She's one
Well,
of
do
the
you
first
see these
women
pink
I've seen train
handcuffs?
that like fucking really impressed
Can you
me.
hit me with a close up for the people watching on YouTube? I'm a ladies' man.
Those are scary. Those are what forced Nogueira
The
into retirement. So Aaron has pink handcuffs on his mic stand, and apparently they are affecting the performance of his. Well, I don't know if they're affecting the performance of that, but they're affecting
Check.
his sexual performance as well. So.
How is it? It is definitely not
Oh,
affecting
now his
my.
mic works, so I
It's
can't.
definitely not affecting my sexual performance. That's for
Damn it.
That's for damn sure.
Damn it.
So yeah, I think we're all in agreement that the reason why PVZ gets so much press and gets put over so much is she's freaking amazing. She's gorgeous. Let's break down.
She plays the
UFC.
game too, though. She
Yeah.
does.
Oh yeah, she definitely does.
she does
Let's-
those dance. Those
Yeah,
dance.
she when they say dance, she fucking dances.
Right.
And I'm not saying that.
Literally.
I'm not saying that that's a bad thing.
No, she just plays the game, and she's a.
I
to
hear myself
advance in
saying
the
that.
corporate ranks. It's not a negative
Yeah.
thing. Some people they know how to play the game, and some people don't.
Yeah.
Well, guys like us, that's why we're brutally honest, because we don't give a fuck. We do it by our rules. People like her, they say dance, she dances, and she looks damn good doing it.
Yeah, and she, like
She's
I said,
fun, and
yeah.
she's funny. She has a fun personality. Oh yeah. So, anyways, did you see the picture of her though,
No.
with
which
Luke
one?
Rockhold?
No.
Yes, you did, Adrian. Suppose you didn't see the picture on the oil checkers form
No, I didn't see it.
at the airport where someone took a picture and it's Paige Van Zant and Luke Rockhold together at the airport.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Are they
interesting
like
stuff.
hooking up?
No, I don't know. Just together at the airport, but TMZ wouldn't print it. He said because their faces aren't showing, it's the back of their heads. Sounds
Oh.
kind of sketchy. But anyways, let's just talk about the top 6 fights. Excuse me while I cough. Okay, so these are fights we're not going to talk about, but on the prelim card, Joe Riggs against Ron Starlings, Joaquin Silva against Nazareno Magalavera.
You want to do predictions on them?
None
or
of
no?
these
No?
ones. We're going to
No?
do predictions, but there's like 13 fights or something.
Okay.
Well, just do the main card.
Yo, let's
That's
keep
why
track.
I'm reading off the fucking names of these guys, and we're going to the main card.
and
You're
we're
not
keeping
listening to the
track
show?
too. Let's keep track of predictions.
All right, let me get to the goddamn thing. So I'm going to read off the names
Aaron's
of a
getting
couple
testy.
fights. Because this is exactly what I just said I'm doing. And you guys are like saying like you just came up with this brilliant idea when I just fucking said it.
I thought it was a good idea.
Thank
It
you.
was, Adrian. Thank
I
you.
think that's what I was
Great
saying for
job,
me.
dude. Great job.
I'm talking about my idea.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about these couple fights for a few seconds, and then we'll break down the main card. So, god damn it, you assholes! Joaquin against Nazarena, who cares? Whatever. Joe Riggs, a fan favorite. I don't know why he's on Fight Pass because I don't have Fight Pass and never will because I'm not falling for the credit card trick.
Right.
Joe Riggs, he's such a hardcore guy, like hardcore old school. You want to see him fight, so that's ridiculous. I'd rather see Joe Riggs on pay per view. I don't
think
even
he
care
fell
if
fell off
he
a
fell
bunch
off
of fights.
20 years ago. And he shot himself recently. He
fell out of a bunch of recent fights.
Oh yeah,
and,
plus
and they
he
had to
tapped out-
find him something.
He tapped out like after getting a
pinched a
stinger.
nerve, yeah.
He shot himself. He's had horrible clusters, but he's still a fan favorite.
Yeah, and he's a
Clay,
banger too.
Clay Collard against Thiago Chater, whatever. Jessica Andrade against Raquel Pennington. Actually, to be honest, I'm a huge Raquel Pennington
So
fan.
am I. She's a gamer.
Yeah, that's a good fight. Why are these? This should be on the. I'd rather see that on the pay per view, man. So, anyways, we won't break this down, but I'm going for Raquel. John Lineker against Francisco Rivera. These are actually pretty decent fights. Now we'll start breaking them down and giving predictions very quickly. Very quick predictions here.
I got Chico Rivera in that.
I didn't on the next fight.
Oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Oh my god.
Full potato.
Good
Oh
pick.
my
Good pick, by
God.
the way, John.
Full potato.
I like your pick.
Thank you, Adrian.
Okay, Ross Pearson, who actually we saw at Bellator, versus Paul Felder. Paul Felder is a fucking badass. His only loss, maybe, or at least only recent one, was his last fight. He just fought against Edson Barbosa, which is a no slouch.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Pearson, he's kind of had a career resurgence in the last year or so, and he's been looking better every fight. How do you see it going?
Paul Felder.
How about you?
You know, I have to agree. I think Paul Felder has a better stand-up. I don't see Ross Pearson taking him down. I just think he's gonna, knock him out.
Ross Pearson's
yeah.
a real tough dude, and he throws bombs. But Paul Felder is legit all around. I was talking to Ken Florian about him last night. I think he's the future in that division. I really do.
Yeah, and then Pearson's actually lost 3 of his last 5 fights.
Yeah, I just don't see how Pearson can beat him. Maybe boxing, but the thing
He
is,
can land a one-hitter.
He's got a puncher's chance. Yeah,
but
That's what this guy always says. He's got a puncher's
But
chance.
Paul Felder's a good. I mean, I think he has a better distance. He can, with Edson Barbosa, he was able to, mediate some of that. So.
Okay, Paige Van Zandt, PVZ against Alex Chambers, starting in the main card for the pay-per-view off. Paige Van Zandt's at 15-1 a favorite. I think people are really overlooking Alex Chambers. I still think that Paige will win, but I really think people are dismissing Alex Chambers and looking over her. What do you think?
I think this is the UFC. The UFC put together a fight here that they know Paige will win, but she will get tested.
But 15-1, do you think the betting odds are 15-1 because people only know about Paige maybe? Because the Astro girl, Alex Chambers, she's not a slouch.
No, she's really good, and I think she's going to give Paige some trouble, but I just think Paige has got that alpha male cardio and that alpha male mentality where she's just going to outwork
She
her.
is such a badass. She's a natural athlete. She's very gamey.
Yeah, I don't honestly know too much about Chambers. I think the only thing that she can do is maybe take her down. I just don't know if she could do that against Paige Van Zandt. So.
Okay, John Blachowicz versus Jan
Blachowicz, is that it?
Yep, Jan Blachowicz against Corey Anderson.
Wow.
I don't know either of them, so don't know.
Jan Blachowicz he's got some heavy hands. I'm going to go Corey Anderson, though, because he's got the wrestling, even though he's lost a few.
Well, he's only lost 1. He got knocked out by Gian Vellante.
Yeah.
Did you hang out with that guy last night?
John Vellante?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, Bellator.
No, Valley Flag. John Vellante is a New York guy. He trains with Weidman. He's a real badass. But
and Blachowicz, he's lost his last fight to Minowa by decision. But before that, he had won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights. Jesus, 6 fights in a row and something like 3 to 8, 15 out of his last 17 fights.
I don't think Corey's gonna beat him.
I think Jan's a badass.
Taking Jan?
Yeah, I'm thinking Jan. Yeah.
I'm just going with Corey's wrestling because that's what I know the most about him.
Okay, well, we told you so is what we're going to say after this fight because we took Jan. Okay, so the next fight, my boy, the Rumble in the Jumble, Anthony Johnson versus Jimmy Manuwa. I'm going with Rumble no matter who he fights. He can fight freaking King Kong. He can fight God. He can fight anyone. I'm always going with Rumble. He's one of my favorite fighters. He's so exciting to watch, and I know that he's either going to get finished or knock the guy out. I'm going for him for a knockout.
You know what? I think Rumble's going to win, but I am picking Jimmy Manuwa to win the fight.
Okay, so far, Clinch has picked 2 against us. He picked Jimmy and Corey, and you picked Paige, correct?
Yes, I picked Paige.
Adrian and I have Paige, Jan, and Anthony. Oh my God, the fights just keep getting better.
You didn't get my pick.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, aren't you an Anthony Johnson
He's still
fan?
pissed. He's still pissed at you for stealing his idea.
Well, now I'm making picks for you.
You don't get a pick, Dick.
There's no way you're taking Manua, right?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I know Adrian better than that. He's taking AJ. Okay, so this fight is going to be incredible. Andrei Arlovsky, the pit bull from Belarus, against Frank Mir. Kind of weird because they're, I think, buddies, and they also trained together at Jackson's for a little while. Frank Mir, former multi-time UFC heavyweight champ. Andrei Arlovsky, former multi-time heavyweight UFC champ. Arlovsky has won something like 10 out of 11 or 11 out of 12. And the only fight that was like a no contest is actually bullshit because he soccer kicked Tim Sylvia and beat the crap out of him. He has a win over Verdum, the current champion. If Andrei Arlovsky wins, no way you deny him a title shot. I don't know how you could.
You couldn't, yeah.
If Mir wins, I don't really know what you do with him, and Andrei drops. I got Arlovsky by knockout, but I do like Mir on a personal level. But Andrei, my God, old school mentality, like old school fanhood. I can't root against Andrei. I can't do it. Who do you have?
In the immortal words of Brock Lesnar, Frank Mir.
So you're taking Mir.
No, I'm taking Frank Mir.
Okay, so Adrian says that he's... No, I'm just kidding. Who are you taking, Adrian?
I expected. I was waiting. I was actually going to. I was excited for my pick. I was
Excellent show of timing by Aaron
Thank you.
there.
Thank you.
I hate to pick the favorite. I just think Arlovski's going to win. I don't know what Frank Mir's going to do.
Man, dude, this is bad for
This
me.
is pretty cool. This is the first time ever we've disagreed, and not disagreed like, oh, fuck you. What? You against Arlovski?
No, next week one of us is an asshole. That's basically the way this is shaping out. And odds are it's going to be me since you two are on the same team.
Well, shit, you're taking fucking Frank Mir, Jim Manoa, Corey Anderson, Alex Chambers. Okay, fine, PVZ.
I'm picking Manoa because I think everybody sleeps on him, and I'm picking Mir because I honestly believe that Mir's resurgence. I think that he has a small window to take advantage of this resurgence, and I think he's doing it the proper way. I think that he submits Arlovski.
Oh,
wow. Bold claim
Real
from
bold.
Jonathan
But you know what?
King from Clinch Report.
I agree. If Arlovski loses, that's how he's going to lose. He's not going to get knocked out. I don't think.
Have you heard of Sambo? Arlovski is a Sambo competitor by trade.
Yeah, but Frank Mir is on another level, I think.
Have you seen the heel hook and leg lock?
Sambo, that's that world famous fighter Blagoy Ivanov, right?
I don't even know what the hell that means, but
He's the guy that fought with Fedor in Sambo tournaments.
the guy who beat him and broke his nose or something.
I thought it was one of those dance craze.
Oh, isn't that the guy who's now in prison?
No, Ivanov is the guy that fought for Bellator.
Dance craze.
That got stabbed. Do you remember this story?
Oh my, I do remember, yes.
He got stabbed. He's a heavyweight fighter, got stabbed in like a club or something like that and lost so much weight when he was in a coma. He was down to like 160 pounds.
Did he fight LeVar Johnson?
Knocked him out.
But remember how it was like LeVar Johnson, the man who's been shot in the stomach, versus so-and-so who's been stabbed.
It was like two guys defying death.
Gunshot versus the blade. Who will come out on top? We have blood infusion transfers on standby.
Bjorn Rebney did some cheesy shit, didn't he?
Okay, yeah, so moving on, because we're going to end the show here pretty quickly in the next 10 minutes or so. We have, let's see here.
Strain.
Well, no, we're not done yet. We still have the heavyweight, the main event.
Oh, yeah. No, I thought we just did the main event.
No, the main event.
It keeps getting better.
You know what?
That's not the main event?
You just proved the point how much...
No one gives a F about the main event.
Yeah, nobody ever... Demetrius Johnson gets overlooked every single time.
Against John Dodson.
Dude, I just did it.
Look at this potato face right here.
He just
Fuck, I
proved
can't
it.
believe I did
If you're not
that.
watching YouTube, you're missing out. Adrian, point at him. Right now, we're both on camera pointing at this guy. Well, he sits there with a sad face.
I love these two fighters. I can't believe I disrespected
Join us
them
for a
like
drink
that.
and hang out on the show here. If you're listening on MP3,
I wish that you this was a prank, but I know that you legitimately overlooked him. That's hilarious.
And that makes me sad because I really love to watch Demetrius Johnson fight, man. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch.
well, guess what? He's the main event this weekend on a pay-per-view. He's
awesome
the main
surprise
event
then.
against John Dodson. So, do you think the reason they get overlooked is because it's not lack of excitement? I think they're victims of a cage that's too big, and just because people don't really like watching smaller weight classes. If you ask anyone who's a fight fan or casual fan, ask them one thing. People love heavyweights. They love the big guys. They want to see knockouts. They want to see guys that, not that they look up to like, oh my God, I want to be this guy, but look up to in terms of like when Arlovski fights, that guy's a prize fighter. He's a monster. He's 6'4", 240 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, he's a scary.
It's a guy you're going to pay to see,
Yeah.
you want to see, and you know he's going to get knocked out or knock someone out.
I was talking to one of the commissioners about this last night, and we were talking about as far
On
as
set as a reoccurring guest star on the
You're
Shit Show
such a
Kingdom.
I was wondering how many times he's going to name drop.
we were talking about
Yeah,
boxing.
Dan the Wolfman over here.
Yeah, we were talking about boxing on as the resurgence that's happened with boxing and Mayweather and stuff like that.
Have you watched the PBC?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's incredible. Free boxing on Showtime and NBC and
But-
stuff. Unreal.
But the point that I made to him is no matter how talented these guys, Triple G, what's the Russian dude that's really good now?
Triple K? Or God damn
No,
it.
Triple
I'm
G
Jewish,
is the
so
one
it's
dude.
edit that part
Volkov's
out.
another one.
I know. I know you're talking
Mayweather.
about.
These guys are all badasses, but no matter what, it will never get to that point it was in the 80s. And that's because of Mike Tyson. And it's not just because of the name Mike Tyson and the person that he was and how magnanimous he was. He represented the heavyweight division. And the heavyweight division has always been bigger than boxing. And it always will be bigger than boxing. And I don't care what anybody says. That's just the fucking truth of the matter. A heavyweight fight, when you have a Mike Tyson versus Michael Spinks, that will always be bigger than Manny Pacquiao versus fucking Floyd Mayweather. And I don't care what the pay-per-view numbers are. As far as people will always remember the heavyweights. You know, there are so many middleweights and welterweights that just fade into greatness and their names just disappear, but the heavyweights remain. You know what I mean? So it's sort of the same thing in MMA. And I think with Dodson and Demetrius, I don't think
can't even remember the guy's name, and he's like, I love watching this guy fight.
I don't think the UFC does.
Christ,
I think it's a combination of both. I don't think the fans are intelligent enough to understand what how amazing these two fucking athletes are.
The speed, the footwork, the angles.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, it's hard to call a fight when you have these guys that are that fast and that, because you're like, holy shit, you know. But I think the other thing is the lack of preparation by the UFC. I don't think they promote those lighter divisions.
It's not as deep either. I don't think they have as many fighters as any other weight class, I believe.
As you can see with the women's divisions,
all rematches.
As you can see with the women's divisions, I think with the lighter weight divisions, the UFC tries to push a name and not the division. You know, Ronda, Paige, and that's why the flyweights are kind of forgotten.
Phelan Fox.
Caitlin Fox.
Are we gonna do this?
One more thing before that.
All right.
Okay, so we're gonna do two more things. We're just gonna quickly talk about Bellator 141, and then have the strain of the week, and then we're gonna wrap up here.
Hold on 1 second. Let me cut you off. We didn't do our picks for the main event.
Yes, the main event. The picks.
Okay, well, I'm taking DJ, obviously.
I'm taking Demetrius Johnson.
I'm going with Dotson.
Ooh. An asshole will be crowned next Wednesday.
Okay, so those are our picks. That's who we're picking. All right, so quickly about Bellator 141. Just want to talk about some of the fights. So we were giving so much shit to our co-host here, Jonathan, about calling Melvin Gillard Chinny LaRue and saying Melvin was kind of washed up. He didn't have it anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to say it because I'm a huge Melvin fan. You were right.
No, you know what? He broke his hand, though.
Well, yeah, but he got his ass kicked so bad in that fight. He was horrible in that fight.
First of all, I was wrong.
He took some shots in the chin.
No, I'm not saying he's chinny. I'm just saying in terms of not being there, he just didn't come in. He didn't come with it.
He's not chinny, but he broke because he lost that fight because he broke from his broken hand.
No, he was never in the fight to begin with.
First of all,
I'm telling you, unless he broke it backstage, I was sitting 5 feet from the cage.
Yeah, he lost the first round real bad, right?
No, just seeing the way he looked and was breathing,
I gotta say,
was there. Adrian was
you took the picture, so what do you think?
I gotta agree with Joe Stevenson. You remember how he said that he's either on or off? Yeah. And I think you're right. I think once his hand was broken, or
the switch went off.
It didn't seem that motivated anyways. I think that as soon as that happens, I mean, honestly, he came in like he didn't seem motivated. To me, I mean, that's just my perception.
Exactly,
and it's not just a broken hand either.
Right.
It's a fucking shattered.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So what is it? Uriah Faber. After every Uriah Faber loss. Hey, everybody! Everybody, look! See my hand? Hey, Stitch, cut my glove off so I can show him my swelled hand up.
Shout out to Mike Brown.
Hey, guys!
But he grows a ragdoll, Melvin. Ragdoll. I got some amazing shots of him getting ragdoll.
And we talked to the guy who beat him after the. We talked to him after the fight, and
yeah.
I was like, what was up with those slams? How did you pull that off? He goes, yeah, when the guy is a little dwarf and weighs 55 pounds, it's nothing. He didn't respect Melvin at all.
I got to say, his corner, I sat next to the corner of the opposing corner where Melvin was at. And, man, that corner was given very specific instructions. They knew exactly what that knee that he was throwing towards the end. They were calling that out. They already knew in advance. They knew what shots he was going for. I mean, the corner was amazing.
Hold on. I gotta call out our buddy here. I got to call him out. Okay. You know what was going on. I was watching online, and I was texting you back and forth. What was I saying to you? What was I saying?
Adrian just sitting there looking like a
tell
full
Adrian
potato?
to pick his fucking camera up and start taking pictures, because the dude's like this, like looking down, sitting cage side, like the camera's looking through the cage, and the fighters are here, and then there's Adrian just like.
Oh my gosh! Yes, that's one punch to the stomach. I think
the camera not even on his face.
For those of you who missed that last part of the show, listening on SoundCloud or iTunes,
did I pop?
He was leaning off of. My co-host was leaned off camera and talking to a non-existing microphone just now. Was telling that story.
That's not a pop, is it?
No.
Remember the email? It said, "Let me read the rules here." It said, every time Jonathan goes full retard and yells into the mic and blows out the audio. I was gonna give you the whisper. I didn't take the whisper.
You lucky bastard!
Damn it.
So let me explain what you were going with. Okay, The reason why I was looking down at my camera more than likely, and the reason why you were able to see me is because they were probably on the ground near me by the cage, right? And so
I think it had something to do with the Vicodin he was taking.
This guy got a fucking root canal and
Yeah.
wisdom tooth pulled out 2 hours before the fight. So he's like, "Hey, can you drive? Can you drive to the fight tonight?" And I'm like, didn't you just have surgery? Like, I assumed I was driving.
Wait.
And so we're in the car ride on the way there, and he's just staring out the window like Gilbert, what's that name? The Gilbert Grape. He's looking like Gilbert Grape.
Delbert. Delbert.
So we
Mom's
decided,
fat, Delbert.
we tried to call Clinch on the phone, and when Clinch answered, Adrian just like went full retard, and we both went full retard. Full potato, and we just started laughing hysterically and couldn't even talk. Like,
yeah, I get a phone call, and it's just two idiots laughing.
Well,
I'm
because
like, what
Adrian-
and then all of a sudden you disconnect. I'm like, what
well,
the
because
hell
when you
is-
said hello, Adrian just has the look like his mouth was so swollen. He's talking out the side of his mouth like, so we get to Bellator, and he's sitting there. The first undercard fight and a half, it took him a little while to wake up, but once he got going, it was awesome. But yeah, he was
Because
on
you
TV.
sent me a text, you were like, Adrian forgot his memory cards and his battery. He's totally full potato in the front seat right now. And then I get the call, you guys laughing hysterically, and I'm like, what the? I fucking can't believe I'm missing this right now. I wanted to be
It
in
was
the
awesome.
car so bad.
We saw Tito. We talked to Tito. We're gonna have all these interviews up on the website eventually. We talked to Tito, Amber Nicole. She's a dime piece. We talked to
she's hot.
Phil Davis, Justin Wren. We
Anthony
interviewed
McKee's new son,
yes,
AJ
AJ McKee. We should have AJ on maybe.
Dude,
star.
he's quickly
classy
becoming
gentleman.
a
He
top
looked
prospect.
freaking good,
He
and
looks
he
really-
won by a knockout. So we gotta play the interview. I gotta put that video up. I should put that stuff up this weekend. I'll put it all up. His dad, we had Anthony and AJ on. Anthony goes, "I took all the boring fights from my son. I did all the boring fights. This is the new shit right here.
Nice.
Exciting fights.
Yeah.
And it's so badass because Anthony, he's playing on himself, but he was a world class title fighter. So
By the way, I think we're now 7-0.
in terms of people on the show, who else was on?
Mr. Justin.
Okay, yeah. So
Wren.
if you've ever been on the show the week of a fight or before a fight, we are 7-0, 7 wins and 0
good call.
losses.
Good call.
So
7-0.
Justin against Josh Burns, it was 109 degrees and humid as hell in Temecula. Justin hasn't fought in 5 years. Burns is 265 heavyweight. I enjoyed the fight. It was kind of what I expected. Being in fight shape and fight condition, and especially with the nerves. Justin Wren said he literally threw up. He puked a pond of puke.
Jesus.
Backstage, he puked his brains out because of all just the adrenaline dump and the anxiety and just the pressure. And so he said he's going to make a title run, but he's realistic. I respect him. He said he's going to need a few years. So that we saw the Melvin Gillard fight, Justin Wren fight, Marloes Conan. Okay, quickly, Marloes Conan. She is extremely technical and beautiful to watch fight. She does not have the power to compete with Cyborg, Misha Tate, or with Ronda Rousey. That's what I took from that, is that she does not have the power to compete with them, in my opinion, or the quickness. In terms of a technician and technical, goddamn is she nice to watch.
Oh yeah, she's got
She's
pretty
beautiful to watch.
transitions.
Her
Beautiful transitions.
stand-up looked good. She went to Kansas. I don't know if she still went there or still trains in the U.S. She joined a wrestling gym. She's shooting double legs. The difference between most women and her, a lot of women don't have a good takedown. So they may be, oh, this woman's a badass wrestler. She's a badass ground and pound, badass jiu-jitsu. She can't get the fucking fight down there.
Right.
Marloes was taking this girl down, shooting doubles, shooting singles. Her wrestling was what the difference was, mixing up between the striking, the wrestling level changes. She looked good.
She's been a top.
She's like
Bantamweight?
23-6. Her
Yeah, but
record is impeccable. She's been there and done
She
that.
was Ronda Rousey before there was Ronda Rousey. She was an
Well,
armbar.
no one's been Ronda Rousey.
No, what I'm
but
saying
yeah,
is
wins
she was,
fights by
she
armbar,
was
yes.
pretty much the top of that division
Yeah,
before
oh,
that
yeah.
division became big, though, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
the 135. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
did she beat Sarah Kaufman and
I'm pretty sure.
Misha Tate,
Well, she was,
or at least Sarah Kaufman.
wasn't she the champ? Yeah.
So she's a fucking OG. She's
Oh yeah,
a-
she's badass. She's
Yeah.
legit.
She's a plaque
and then of
holder.
course the one interview I didn't get, I was like, dang, who's that cute girl? Why is she wearing board shorts? Because her hair looks so good. And I was like, fuck, that's Marloes. And she walked right by me, and I missed it. No one interviewed her. So I missed the Marloes interview. So anyways, that was our experience at Bellator. It was awesome. We got
Wait,
tons of
who
interviews.
got
Phil
the-
Davis. Oh, yeah, we interviewed Pitbull about the fight backstage with Georgie. I got to put that video up. We have so many videos.
Who does Phil Davis have now in the tournament? He's fighting
Emmanuel Newton.
Manny. That's
Yeah.
that's a good fight.
Yeah.
It's a great.
So the last thing we're going to get into is going to be the strain of the week. if you have a reason to use medical marijuana and have a prescription for it, my buddy Clinch here, he has an injured leg, and I'm like injured. He has the actual disability in his leg. Is it a nerve? What's the?
It's neuropathy. I have a dead nerve. The peroneal nerve is dead in my leg.
From a broken bone or some injury he had. So he uses medical marijuana. We are sponsored this week by VMC, Venice Medical Center. And what is the strain of the week? Tell us about, is it a popular one, a well-known one? Is it an indica? What does it do? What does it taste like? Give us the breakdown.
I'm going to go ahead and zoom in while you're talking.
Sure. King Louis OG. Medical marijuana usually comes in, well, not usually. There's two strains, sativa and indica. This is an indica dominant strain. It's an OG, which means it's got a very distinct smell and taste to it.
Oh, I can smell that from here, like across the room. Oh my God.
King Louis is widely recognized as one of the most powerful OGs. My buddy Maj recommends this Maj is the manager over at Venice Medical Center. He recommends this to me as a nighttime pain reliever and sleep aid. It's really, really potent. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it about an 8.7 on this. So I would highly recommend this. It's King Louis OG, and it's grown by the urban growers, I believe, up north in Northern California.
What was your, on the scale of 1 to 10, what was it?
8.7 on this.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a really strong strain. Look, guys, Aaron doesn't mess around when he says you got to use this stuff responsibly. This is one of those strains that you do not drive with, you do not fuck around with. It's something that you use as you would use medication that your doctor would give you.
And the reason why we have the medical marijuana strain of the week each week is because we're promoting, one, a healthy medical thing, but two, I reference Joe Rogan Experience a lot because I love the show, but he had a thing where he was talking recently where everyone knows a friend that uses marijuana or medical marijuana. It's just the stigma is still the Spicoli, from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, that if you smoke weed, you're a lazy stoner, you don't have any, ability to rationalize, you don't want to work, you don't want to be productive, you're not a do-gooder, I should say, a go-getter.
You're a do-nothing bitch.
You're a do-nothing bitch. So we're just trying to break the stigma a little bit about that and using our friend Jonathan to do it.
Yeah, it's something that I actually believe a lot in. I have family members that suffer from a lot of different, terminal illnesses, and they're in states that don't believe in medical cannabis, and they're issued, OxyContin or heavy-duty painkillers that the government feels are perfectly okay for you to take, and like my doctor would tell me, they're poison. They're fucking poison. They're just low dosages of poison. So Mother Earth herself makes natural pain relievers that are so much better than the ones that are created in test tubes. So I prefer this way. I'm not saying that it's better that people should use medical marijuana. For me, it works, and narcotics for me is not an option because they turn me into the things that you just described.
That you don't want to be.
Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for that review of the week, Clinch. Beautiful review.
You are welcome.
Okay, so the last thing here before we wrap up, and we're gonna finish with Clinch getting to punch me in the stomach with the giant glove.
Well, did I win?
Yes, because I said, let me ask you a fucking question.
I would run with it, John.
You had two laughs. You had two laughs that were almost, but that because I could tell you made an effort and tried, and it was so good, and it was funny, and you can't when it's emotion, it's different. This guy right here. His audio, literally, I have been disgusted. It's been like looking him in the eye. You're just disgusted. You don't want to look at it. His
My
audio
hand
levels.
still smells from King Louis.
I can smell it across the room. Dude.
You know when you have that friend that's like really smart and really cool, but he dresses like a dirtbag, and you're like, dude, stop fucking smelling. These chicks would love you if you just. That's the way Aaron talks to me. He's like, dude, you have the fucking funny things to say and good things to say, but dude, you need to take a shower and shave your face and wash your clothes.
Well, hygiene's important. You want to look good, smell good. You want to put a good appearance.
My vocal hygiene is
so
horrible.
His vocal hygiene is fucking filthy. The BO on this guy's fucking vocal control is disgusting.
Proper modulation.
His dog is chewing up his vocal modulation because of his smelly vagina. Oh, wait, no, that's a Joe Rogan Experience. That's a different interview. But that was the Ronda interview, sorry. But so anyways, because of Clinch's incredible volume control, he won the bet. He did not peak. And I did say during mine, I said, let me ask you a question to Tony Ferguson. So
yeah,
I
it was a
fucked up.
hybrid, but you did.
Yeah. Well, I fucked up because I've been working on that. So you win the bet. So, ladies and gentlemen, next week we have Orlando Sanchez, heavyweight Abu Dhabi Combat Classic winner from last week, 2015 champion. We're going to have him on the show.
Whoa, we're going to have 2 people that were on that podium on our show. We had Vinny like 2 weeks ago who finished 3rd in that podium.
Yes.
And now we're going to have fucking Orlando.
Yep. We're
Dude,
going to have the
that's 3
champion.
of the best fucking wow.
Yeah, Orlando would have been on tonight, but he literally is on a plane to Hong Kong. He's like, dude, how can we make this happen? And I said, dude, we'll do it next week. You're on a plane to Hong Kong.
That's awesome.
We
That's
can't afford the
awesome.
call.
Thank you so much. That's very generous of him to be on the show.
So this week, if you're listening on SoundCloud or iTunes, please subscribe to one or both. If you're listening, or excuse me, watching on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can catch us on The Clinch Report, MMA Prime TV, or at Aaron True. We have always tons of stuff, new videos, incredible guests to come. This show we had gun talk, beer talk, weed talk, UFC lightweight title contender El Kakui, Tony Ferguson. We had pop culture, we had comedy, we had everything. So now the final thing, you get one punch to the gut as we close out. So Adrian, if you can talk to us, or Jonathan, talk to us while I stand up here. This is the same glove that Chris Cyborg wore when she beat the hell out of me. So this is a famous glove. This glove has been worn by the #1, in my opinion, other than Rousey, the #1 female fighter in the world. Count to 3, though. Don't just whine. This guy is freaking... Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, you son of a bitch. That's how you screw someone, is you freaking don't count to 3. That's what Verdum did when he busted my leg. Oh.